Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast. We're here with another Victory Sunday. We got our girl live on scene in Boulder, Colorado. Are you still in Boulder?
I'm actually in Ann Arbor.
Oh, you're already back in Ann Arbor. Okay.
I am.
That was fast. So we got our girl.
Hence the beanie from travel. Got in at 1 a.m.
There you go. So 1 a.m. travel. We got our girl back from Boulder in Ann Arbor for another Victory Sunday. So today we're gonna be special today. If you got any questions, we're just gonna let it all air out. We'll talk about the game as we go, but you got any questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments section. We'll answer those questions. We'll post them up on the screen. Colorado USC, number 8 USC beats Colorado 48-41. A tell of two halves. A legit tell of two halves. At this point, and I am not a fan. By the way, I love your background. We should do more daytime shows. I love that background.
All right. So, yeah, forgive the dark lighting. I figured the serene sunshine and the green would be refreshing to my concrete jungle in LA. So,
there you go. So, at this point, Candice, I wish I was a millionaire because I would definitely put out a campaign and there will be billboards all over LA and Orange County. It's time to let Alex Grinch go.
You mean that defense that got, quoting my counterpart, Jamal, shredded?
Shredded.
Yeah, at this level, I'm not going to, at any level, I'm never, ever coming for an athlete because I know what it's like to be an athlete. I know what it's like to be a spotlight, but I do not know what it's like to play college football. And I cannot blame an athlete. I just can't. So and I'll let you do the rest because you've been a college coach, so you know.
Okay, so what have I said multiple times? I said it's about putting your players in the best position possible to win. And he's not putting them in the best position possible.
It's your responsibility.
Right. Here's the first question is before you guys start. It's all about Grinch. It's about whatever you guys want to ask. You can ask any questions about yesterday.
Is the defense's struggles all about Grinch or
I think he's asking, are the questions all about Grinch? Today's not all about Grinch. It may mostly be all about Grinch based on your questions, but it's whatever you want to ask. So, Guy Smithson, whatever you feel like asking. This dude's loyal. He tunes in every Sunday. I like that, Guy Smithson.
Thanks, Guy. We appreciate it.
Guy is in every Sunday. He said, look, this was his first thing. As soon as we logged on, rise and shine, people, wake up. It is another Victory Sunday. So we do have a question is, your favorite five-head questions. Last year's defense issues were blamed on last year's roster and lack of talent. What's the excuse this year? New players, same issue. So no, that is a good question. It's scheme. And if you look at all of our podcasts and every time we talk, the best one to look at is the Stanford game, your favorite five-head. I will say that. Go look at our podcast when we recap the Stanford game. And me and Jamal got so much heat for that. And I said that the defense is not there yet. And
you said that at the beginning of the preseason.
That the defense is not there yet. And it's not the players. The players are good. You know who showed up yesterday? Mason Cobb. Mason Cobb was all over the field. Mason Cobb showed up yesterday. Bear Alexander was a little hit and miss. He wasn't 100 like he normally was. But Mason Cobb showed up yesterday. The talent is there. It's college football. So you're not going to have 100% great players. Alabama doesn't have 100% great players on their defense. Georgia doesn't. But if you get key players in key spots, you get key D linemen, key linebackers, and you get a key. So you got Caleb Bullock, you got Mason Cobb now, and now you have Bear Alexander, right? And you have 3 D linemen. And I wish Ryan and Jamal was here so they could give me all their names. But 99, Muhammad is actually good. So you have a good front. The front is decent. The problem is, and this is a coach's perspective, so pay attention. You have 5 offensive linemen every single time. You have a center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, 5 offensive linemen, right? So you automatically have a 5-man box. If you create a 5-man box on defense, you have a hat for a hat, which means every single offensive line has somebody to block, right? You need to create a 6-man box on defense so you always have one free hat. So anytime you get any 10 personnel, which is one running back and no tight ends, 3x1, 2x2, whatever you want to call it, you need to have a 6-man box because they can't block every single person.
Go ahead.
Alex,
no, I was just saying we're sitting in the press box right next to where the coaches are, and we're looking down the field. And again, I'm not an X's and O's girl. I'm an athlete. And Ryan says, "Wait, they don't even have enough people defending."
They never had enough people in the box. They never have enough people in the box, so you always have to play with a 6-man box. Let's see. Here's the next question. USC under Riley struggled on the road. Everybody knows you're supposed to bring two things that with you on the road: a running game and a defense. You said USC doesn't have one and willingly abandons that run game. That is 100% true. And if you go, yeah, 5 heads on 5 head, go back and look at our Arizona State podcast. The first thing that I said was they have a travel problem. Me and Jamal attacked them about how bad they traveled, and he put out a stat like they're like 4-3 on the road. On the Colorado preview, they're 4-3 on the road. So it's they have a travel problem. That 5 head is not Alex Grinch problem. That's a Lincoln Riley issue, right? Like that now becomes because they have a travel problem. You know what else I noticed? They have a finishing problem because
say it.
They have a finishing problem. When I went to SC, my very first day as a USC football player, I was given 2 shirts. 2 shirts. One shirt was to wear around, and one shirt was to work out in. The shirt that we wore around was rule number 1. Rule number 1 is always protect the team. That was like Coach Carroll's biggest thing. The second shirt that we got said finish on the front and the back. Mm-hmm. No matter what we do, we're always going to finish. Mm-hmm. They have a problem with finishing. They have a problem with finishing. They let off the throttle in the fourth quarter. Now, they scored 14 points in the third quarter, but the fourth quarter came and they eased up. And Colorado didn't ease up. Colorado was trying to prove something, right? Like if we get the first half SC against the second half Colorado, they still can't compete with them. The score would have probably been maybe 28 because Colorado played hard. I'm not going to take that from them.
I got to jump in on this though. They're down. I am concerned. There was no Sanders 21 on defense. There was no Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball, and they were down a defensive lineman. So I'm just keeping it 100. After I'm like, this feels a little different than I even thought.
Travis Hunter stats on defense are not that.
I don't even care. But I'm not a stat girl. I'm talking about the presence, the energy. One play out of him electrifies. They get that momentum going.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It really looked like your boy Shedeur was dictating the momentum of the game. There was a huge difficulty for the Trojans to even get into tempo. And again, this is the first time I've seen them play in person. So what I've seen based on TV, I'm like, okay, we're controlling tempo, moving the ball down the field. It did not feel like that at all. So even if I don't know if that was the coaching strategy, you can enlighten us on that, Al, but they did not hit any type of rhythm. It was Caleb.
So it's a Lincoln Riley issue, right? And the problem is Caleb is going to Caleb, right? Caleb was quiet the whole week and 6 touchdowns, 406 yards passing. Like, I will say this, and you have to admit this. You have to see the difference between Caleb Williams and Shedeur Sanders. There's a big difference between those two quarters.
And I'll touch on that. In the press conference, I'll just be 100. You got a lot of journalists who want to just really just nail a right question, a perfect question. And I appreciate Prime and Shedeur. Like, I don't know, not a moral victory. No, it's not this. We got beat by a good team. And when it came to, which I'm never a fan of, and one of the reporters were like, so if Caleb Williams doesn't play like Caleb Williams, do you win? And I'm like, what kind of, and Prime was like, what you mean? He's a dog. He executes. He's better than some NFL quarterbacks, and it gave such a positive, poised response about Caleb. And I appreciated that from them because, Prime's going to give me that 100. Yeah. So he radiated positive words. And anytime that's coming from a coach, a Hall of Famer, his eye and his perspective is different. So he raved about Caleb Williams.
So this one, I like this one too. Guy's on fire today. Guy, you're on fire. Looked like Tulane game last year. 100% looked like the Tulane game last year. They were up big on Tulane, and then all of a sudden, like in the fourth quarter, it just disappeared. Like they just lose it. This is also a good one right here. I like this one. Asking Caleb in the office to be perfect every Saturday because you refuse to upgrade the defense isn't the formula for national titles. He should have learned that at Oklahoma and last year. Okay, so I'm going to address this. In one aspect, your favorite five head, you're 100% right. You can't ride the coattails on Caleb Williams if you want to become a national championship team and you want to win football games and be undefeated. You're 100% right. As far as upgrading the defense, athletically, yes, they did upgrade the defense. Schematically, they did not upgrade the defense. So they have the players on defense to be better. They're not put in the best situation possible, right? So I feel like the situation that they're putting them in is not great. But the way they play is way better. Like,
do you feel like, from the coaching's perspective, I'm an athlete perspective, coach's perspective, right?
You need to stop saying coach. I'm an athlete too. We went to the same university.
I'm a coach too.
We got the same check at the beginning and end of every month out of Monica's office when we went to grab those red wines. I'm an athlete too.
USC stuff. Your check might look a little different than mine. But y'all took care of us. Hey, football team always took care of us. So just saying, with the scandal, we all part of the scandal.
Yeah.
Just saying. No, I guess my athlete mindset.
Real quick, you guys, I love the interaction. Don't forget your question, Candice. You guys, I love the interaction. Keep the questions coming. I think this will make our Sundays way better. I like this idea. Just keep firing questions. I'll get to them the best I can. Go ahead, Candice.
Execution. When I hear a coach says, this is what we're going to do, we're going to execute it. It doesn't matter even the level of talent, like you said. You're not going to have 100. You're not going to have 99 ratings on your entire team. So are you saying with Grinch's schemes and what he's running, they're executing that, but that does not fit for USC to be successful?
Yes. I'll give you a good example. The last touchdown that they scored, right? This is the last touchdown that they scored. The new kid, Omarion, right? Omarion Mitchell, the kid who just came out of nowhere.
Hold on, I got to pause real quick. So we're in the press conference, and a certain type of journalist, which was about 90% of them, kept saying, "Hey, Marion."
I saw that. And then Shadora was like, his name is Omarion. This is my guy.
Like, Omarion. You didn't see him running around the field? Oh, yeah. my guy.
So there's two things. I don't know what happened to the corner, and I don't know who number 14 for USC is. He should have never been in the game because he would look like Eli Apple out there. He was getting rolled all day. He just randomly showed up in the game, and all of a sudden they started rolling. But I will go back to this. The last touchdown that Colorado scored, right? They put Caleb Bullock over the top. The goal was to double team Omarion, which I get. But then you got another guy in the slot and you have nobody carrying the slot and you want the safety to play between the two of them. You're putting the safety now in a bind. Which one do I play? Okay, I have to wait and break. You can't do that. Play it right. If you wanted to do it, just have one safety play over the top, and then you play trail technique with a nickel back on the slot, and you just play over the top with the corner. Now the safety can help the slot, which Caleb Bullock would have got a slant, and then you got a corner over the top. If you would have stopped and ran anything, a curl or anything like that, or any type of post, he has the help from the safety. If you run a curl, you rally and you make the tackle. So those are the situations. He's putting Caleb Bullock in a bad situation. Oh, I need to go help 14 because he's getting roasted apple all day, right? So Caleb Bullock went to go help him, but there's a slot running a post and there's nobody there. That is all Trent.
Yeah, you don't have to know what you know to see that. So sitting up at the press box versus a fan level, I'm kind of like, what is happening? And it's kind of looking like my 5-year-old's on the sticks right now.
Let's see. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Riley saying he doesn't believe the issue on defense this year aren't the same as last year's. They're not. They're not the same. And the reason why I say that, I'll leave that up there. So they're not the same. Last year, it was talent. Last year, it was 100% talent. They didn't have the depth, and they did not have the talent to be a college football playoff team. And if you go back and look at my podcast from last year, I said it. They're not a college football playoff team last year. And I stick to that. One thing I'm going to do is tell the truth, right? I bleed Cardinal and Gold. I worked out in the Heritage Hall basement with Candice, and like she always said, we had to make our own protein shakes, right? Like we had
no blender with no top, right? And no ninja.
Don't put more than one scoop. If you put more than one scoop, you're going to make a mistake.
Right? The Dixie paper cups.
Right. So look, it's not talent, it's scheme, right? Just put this in mind. They're not putting their best players in the best situation possible to win. Lincoln Riley does that very well. He puts the offense in the best situation possible to win, except when he starts abandoning the run, and I don't know why he does that. But it's not a talent thing this year. It is a scheme thing. So that's the difference. That's why he says that. Let's see. Let's look at it. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Christian Roland Wallace. What do you mean by that? Your favorite fight here? Christian Roland Wallace. Christian Roland Wallace is 17. I'm talking about number 14 if you're talking about the corner. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Mitchell came out of nowhere. Looks like another player that has a career game against our defense. Right. So they put up. It was 14-on-14 crime, and 14 for SC got rolled that day. They found it and they took advantage of it. Like, it is what it is. I will say this. I want you to hear this live. I want you to hear this first. Right. I want you to hear this. Colorado will be better. Yes. Will they be a college football playoff team? No. Will they be
this year?
Never. Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. At the end of the day, the big logos will always win, and Colorado will never.
But that's not true because USC is climbing themselves out of a hole. We should have never ever been in a hole. Let's keep that 100.
No. Hold on.
You don't like me going on your board, Lincoln Riley.
But do you know why? Do you know why we were in a hole? We were in a hole because we were on probation. SMU, listen, SMU just got out of that hole that they got put on probation in the 80s.
From Eric Dickerson.
They're just now getting out of that hole. San Jose State.
I feel you. I'm in Ann Arbor. I'm the Big Fab Five. I lived kind of through it. So I get it. But I am about execution, and I'm about when a coach tells me what to do, and we're talking about those big logos. Get the Zachariah Branches, get the Reggie Bushes. They get that. They get the Desmond Reeds and the Lendell Whites, who are overlooked and as people would say, overrated, whatever it is. But the idea is the execution, and you said it. Your coach had it on your shirt. Finish. Positive affirmations all the time. So yes, I'm not on here to talk bad about your boy Lincoln Riley, but I am telling you, in Oklahoma with Wrangler jeans and a visor, that might work. But this is Los Angeles, right? At one time, the USC logo was bigger than the Staples Center and Kobe Bryant, was bigger than what was going on at Dodger Stadium, always bigger than what's going on in Anaheim. So you're right. When you're talking about the big logos should always win, we shouldn't be on here talking about why that defense looks like that defense. Because of the big logos. You shouldn't be getting roasted by a team like Boulder, who's got half the budget. Not even
y'all got Alex, y'all got our girl Candice fired up. Calm down, it's Sunday.
I'm just saying, it was the first time I seen it in person when I saw Riley walk out there. I need more swag. I need more presence. I need some Ed Ogeron. I need some Lane Kiffin. I need some old school Sarkisian. I need that level of it. Okay, when you seen Prime and his boys sitting on the sideline, totally different swag. And when Shador was getting dropped and rolled up by our defensive line, coming to the ready to come back out. So yes, I'm a little fired up because coaches dictate the tempo of the team, and the team takes on the swagger of that team. And what were we looking like? Wranglers in Oklahoma. Just trying to tell you.
I will say, so this one right here, it says, since Urban Meyer fired Grinch after 1 year as a DC, you can fire a DC after 1 year. I think Grinch and Riley friend and that judge is clouding his judgment. So, man, you guys are on it. I forgot what show it was. You remember when I said if when you hire your friends? So I went to the NCAA NFL like up and coming coaches thing. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. Dave Weinstead talked to us, and he said, you do not hire your friends. If you do hire your friend has to be able to tell you the truth. So let's just say if I got hired, I will hire Candice because Candice will walk into my office, close the door, and tell me, hey, man, you are completely messing up. This does not make any type of sense. We need to change this. I don't think that's happening there. And
I guarantee you, Pete Carroll was going in there and telling, what's the running backs coach? McNair, T-Mac, what's happening? What's going on? Get it together. Execution will be made and adjustments will be made at Howard Jones at 2:50 p.m. Let's get that going. I don't see that. I see Lincoln Riley talking about, well, let's have a conversation. Let's work through it. Cool. That works in Norman, Oklahoma, because you're the megastar in the entire region. You said it. Big logo.
This is a good point, David. David, you caught one of the main things that I saw yesterday. They fixed it in the second quarter, but this is the part I didn't understand, right? And this is going to get me fired up. When they started that game on defense, Lincoln Riley was running tempo. That means you run tempo every day at practice. How the hell were they so lost in the beginning of the game yesterday when Colorado was running tempo? That is a perfect example of Alex Grinch. How are you not prepared? You have 4 games. If you've seen these games on TV, how are you not prepared for tempo? Like, come on now. Like, what do you mean? Like, that they were lining up wrong, they were falling out. Like,
and like you said it, they looked lost, they looked confused. And I am in the press box, which is hard for me to sit in because they want you to be neutral and they want you to be calm and act like a civil human being. I am in my soul burning, like, what is happening? Lost describes it perfectly.
Let's see. No, I hear you. This one, Guy again. Guy, you're on fire today.
And it was and we weren't even, well, I shouldn't say we weren't getting paid, but like now it's legitimately paid. Like these guys are professional athletes and they're recognized as that. But yeah, I mean, but to touch on that comment, it is not about just all your talent. And I say that to say it is, I keep reiterating, it's about executing what your coach gives to you. I saw Caleb Williams.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. LA Live. Do you know what happens?
Show's over. Drop the mic. We're done.
No.
I'm joking. I'm saying like you hit it right on it.
He's making a great point. At LA Live, do you know what? LV Live. Do you know what happens when stuff like this happens? When you don't want to fire your friend, you'll never be a national champion. We'll be conference champions. We'll make it to the college football playoff, and we'll get smoked in the college football playoff, or we may make it to the national championship game and get embarrassed.
And we'll still be paying $100 million to a coach while we got to bring in someone else.
This is why you do not hire your friends that do not, and they may, when you hire your close friends, you sometimes have this issue. I'll tell you this: if I'm a head coach. If I hire any of my friends, and I've had this conversation when I was up and coming in the coaching industry, like when I get my shot to become a D coordinator Division I, and I'm telling all my friends, I used to always tell them this: look, we're going to have a talk if things aren't going right. If you're a position coach, I may have to demote you and I may have to let you go, but that doesn't have anything to do with our friendship. It's just business, and it's the best situation possible. If you want me to succeed as a defensive coordinator, then you should understand that you're not the best fit here.
So you're saying, great point. So you're saying maybe even Lincoln, because we know that's just not in his heart and his swag, apparently, that Grinch walks into an office and is like, look, I respect you as a friend. I respect you as a colleague. And you know what? I'm not cutting it right now. I'm not cutting it. And it's not a good look for you. So you're saying you're hoping that Grinch walks in his office and says that.
If he's really his friend, yes. Yes. If he's really his friend, yes, he needs to walk in and say, this is funny right here. Look at that. It's a bromance problem. Hey, if he's really his friend, he needs to walk in and say, yeah, it's an issue. This one right here. So it's not just Riley. So the problem is Riley inherited.
I want to expand on that a little bit. And I'll just be very honest. I didn't watch Oklahoma. I'm not familiar with them. That's
so this is the issue. Grinch is a Mike Leach guy. Riley is also a Mike Leach guy, and it all comes from Hal Mumme, right? So then when Stoops adopted that offense, they still brought that Hal Mumme mentality. Hal Mumme had never had great defensive teams. So it's a mentality. We're just going to score more than you. Oregon had that same mentality when they had Chip Kelly. We're just going to score more than you. But at some point, Oregon, you're going to have to play Oregon. At some point, you're going to have to play Washington, and they can score just as much as you, and you're going to need a defensive stop. Like, it has to become a defensive stop. Like, so that is a bad I actually know who this is. This is my fucking little brother. But you're going to have to make a stop. Wait, let's see. There was another one I saw in here. Hey, more questions, guys. We're loving the questions. We're loving every bit of it.
I got a question for
you.
So
wait, real quick. Do you like this method? Should we keep doing this every Sunday? Do you like this?
You asking me or them?
I'm asking both of you guys.
Oh, ask them first.
Do you guys like this? If you like this, just put a thumbs up in the comments, and we'll keep doing this every Sunday. Let's see if they come up. Let's see. For all the great things Riley has brought to SC, if they wasted the last 2 years of Caleb without the championship because of the other side of the ball, that will be unforgivable on Riley's part. 100% agree. I will tell you this. Hey, Riley is making SC like the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody's going to talk about them and how great they are. and they're not going to accomplish anything. Listen, we're going to lose to Washington, Oregon, and Notre Dame. We're just not good enough on defense. I disagree with that. I 100% disagree with this one. I will tell you this. I think Oregon and Washington will be a fight, but Notre Dame, I watched Notre Dame last night. They're very blah on offense. They're
always blah. They're always blah.
Yeah, they're not, but
so you're saying the method of score high works better here, and I see what he's saying, not good on defense. Maybe we don't put the hammer down and goose egg them, but you're saying we can outscore them, so if our defense is subpar, we can skate by.
Yeah, we'll be able to skate by.
That's the big logo USC way. Let's just keep on doing it. And I'm going to go here with this. That's why I am so protective. I nearly got kicked out of the University of Southern California for not having my ish together. When I say nearly, they were like, yeah, so your scholarship is not going to be removed. So I have a huge issue when you get to make $100 million. I have a huge issue when you get to walk in off the street and be the AD and get the keys to the shiny Rolls Royce immediately. I have a huge issue with that. So yes, the expectation is not about you making $100 million. You know why? Because my husband was in the NFL, and I remember everyone having an opinion about what he did on Sunday. And I'm like, you don't even go to Planet Fitness, so don't come for it. But Riley, you're not out there taking them cut hits. And this is the question that I wanted to ask you. How often is it that a coach calls a play, send it out to the QB shakes it off and does something else? How often is that?
Okay, so there's two situations, right? So you have what's called, in my day, it was there was two things. There was a check with me and there was a hard count, right? So a check with me is like you get two plays. So you get eye right, you get like split wide open eye right, 23 counter, and then you also get split wide open eye right, like zig jet 221. So you get a run and a pass, right? So you come up, you see it. I'll give you a good example. You remember when Matt Liner used to always do this when they were winning? He always like bent down and did this. That was his ability to check off the play. In today's game, you see a lot of this. Set, go. And then all of a sudden, they look at the sideline and they give them. Lincoln Riley has said he's giving Caleb Williams 100% free range to check the playoff. Right? So that's why.
I saw that a bit there, and I had mixed emotions as a coach. I was like, okay, I love that he's giving him his empowerment. I love that he's out there and he sees what's happening and can adjust it. But I also have a question of when my head coach is giving me a play and he sees almost the same thing I see and I shake it off.
Sometimes you might just see something better, or you might see a late roll and you could change it. Like they have free reign and it hasn't bit them yet. So let's not dig into that.
I'm not criticizing. It was more of okay, that was interesting. And then I was sitting in the press box and it was Caleb Williams' dad, and he's all SC'd out. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? You're an alumni? And he's like, oh no, my son plays. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I gotta play it cool in here but I was like, well, fight on.
Yeah.
And he introduced himself and he says, Mr. Williams. And I said, nice to meet you.
Brian, if I butcher your last name, Brian, I apologize. Brian Bertrand, playoff. We won't even get to playoff this year. We're not beating Washington or Oregon. If our defense doesn't change their model, we are not a college football playoff team. I do think we could beat Washington. Oregon is a coin toss for me. Let's see. Run LBC 562. I wonder who this is. This is a Long Beach person. I hope it's a Jackrabbit. If you're a Jackrabbit Funkhouse, what up? Let's not act like Pete didn't hire and promote his friends. He had Rocky Seto, Nick Holt, and had his son Brendan promoted. Let's keep it buck. All right. Let's discuss the Pete.
Let's keep it buck, LB.
No. Let's
hold on. My first area code when I got to Los Angeles was a 562 because I wanted to be LBC. Just saying.
So let's talk this. Okay. So Rocky Seto was a GA for Pete Carroll who worked his way up through the system, right? Nick Holt, yes. Nick Holt 100% was Pete's friend. Nick Holt also went and coached a head coach at Idaho. He coached at Idaho. They didn't have any success. Nick Holt went to the Rams. He brought him back. The difference is Nick Holt was very successful. You know what I mean?
Pete Carroll and Riley are two different guys. So what Pete Carroll's friends look like and what Riley's friends look like, Pete Carroll's friends can come to my dinner party all day.
Nick Holt was very successful. Nick Holt has been very successful wherever he went. I will tell you this: Pete Carroll has fired people with the Seahawks, Rocky Seto. Nick Carroll will fire people if it's time to fire people. Nick Carroll and Norm Chow was also very good friends, and Norm Chow didn't stay at SC very long. When he came back, his son Brendan got promoted. Let's keep it a buck. Brendan was only a receiver coach when he was at SC when I was there. And so it's not like he was, you know what I mean? Like he had a little bit of constraint on him. And people forget that Pete is a defensive guy. So this was way a whole different situation. Go look at all the people, all of his friends that he fired in Seattle. He fired Golden Pat Rule. He fired Ken Norton. He fired Rocky Seto. He fired a bunch of people. So Pete will fire people.
That's a good point, though. I do want to keep it a buck. And then when we sat in that press conference and they were talking about Shador, and Coach Prime was like, "Look, there's no what he's like. What y'all call it, nepotism here?" He was like, "If he don't play right, he doesn't play. So yes, you have to be prepared."
I don't know that, so I'm not going to say they are because I don't know what play they're calling and what they're strategized to do. I, in my opinion of coaching, I think the only way that they are checking out of plays is because Caleb doesn't like the look, but I don't know what the original play call is, so I'm not going to speculate and be like, yeah, he is, and trying to create something with the running game. So he does check out of a lot of plays, but I will say this. Caleb's checks have been pretty good this season. So let's not knock him for checking off plays. Like his checks have been pretty good this season. And I have seen Lincoln Riley get on Caleb about some of his checks, and I do know that they correct that. So I don't know what he's checking into and what he's checking out of because I don't know what the play call is. I can go to the game and steal all their signals, though, and then I could get really deep on y'all, but I'm not going to do that because it'll be on the internet, and so I'll be giving it away. A lot of negative social media posts from players. Should Riley address this immediately? All right, Anthony James, I need you to reply to this if you're still on here. Anthony James G, what media posts are negative from the players? Because I don't know, so I'm not going to speculate, and that's one thing we won't do is speculate. What negative posts have you seen, and what? Yeah, and then we could talk about it. So just let us know. Let us know what negative posts have you seen, and we could dive deep into this, and we will even address it. If we don't finish, we'll address it tomorrow.
We can even address it without seeing him. I would like to see, but like, should he address them immediately? I mean,
yes.
The social media space is their space, right? It's okay for them to get 100,000 likes when they're running.
Look at that one. Washington defense is stats ranks worse than USC. So that's why I'm not really worried about Washington. You know what I mean? Like Washington has a very good quarterback, but I feel like, man, Caleb Williams is like fucking Kobe though, man. He's going to shine. I think those games are different. Let's see. What is this one? When do we start having Dante Williams? Ah, man, I love this question. Great recruiter, but the secondary remains inconsistent. Dami, Covington, and Wright seem to have it. That is a great, great question. Your favorite five head. When do we start having this? When do we start having this conversation? Right. So, why was number 14 out there? Nobody knows. It still hasn't come out in the media. Why do you make a change like that in a game like that? And you're way, way up. I will say this: Kalen Bullock is really good. I like Kalen Bullock. I think he is an NFL player. A lot of people get on his sides as far as weight, but Kalen Bullock is really good. But we need to figure out, and we don't need to have Dante Williams because guess what? Once we get rid of Alex Grinch, the whole staff is gone. Oh, that brings up a point. So I was looking in the media guide. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Please remind me to talk about this tomorrow, Candice. I was looking in the media guide, and they only have 2 people upstairs. And the rest of their defense staff is on the field. They're missing a lot of stuff. And tomorrow I'm going to explain to you when I coached with a very good defensive coordinator. He was old school. And when I call defense, how I set up my game day staff so we don't miss anything. They're missing a lot of things. Let's see. Is this Anthony, Sam Green, Kieran Bars looking for signs and questioning their decision? What do you mean by that? Let's keep this conversation, Anthony. What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that. But
I want to say, yeah.
Oh. But Kobe had a clutch gene. Hell yeah, Caleb has a clutch gene. Are you crazy? Go look at all of his games.
No,
Go to Oregon State.
They were on his shoelaces ready to take him down, and he was what? Made it happen.
Come on, Logan.
Definitely a fan. And composed when he did it.
Go look at both of the Utah games. Go look at the Oregon State game. Go look at the Arizona State game last week. Yeah, he has a clutch thing. Let's see what we have here. Why does USC keep losing elite local defensive players to other schools? I don't think that'll be an issue anymore. They do have a lot of top recruits in this past signing class. I think NIL is going to start keeping them there. I will tell you this, because they were getting paid prior to NIL, Alabama and the SEC was cheating. So their mom was getting money, so they were cheating. So they were going to that school. I'll let you. That's easy. The defensive issues only seem more bleak when you realize SC hasn't faced the toughest part of their schedule yet. They've only played one team with a winning record. The worst is yet to come. I will not say the worst is yet to come. I say their biggest test is coming, right? They have to play Washington, Oregon, and Notre Dame 3 weeks in a row. Look, let me know if you recognize this last name. That's my brother. He went to Oregon. Why is Oregon way better than USC? It was 14-6 at halftime against Stanford. Caleb Williams didn't play the second half. We will be eating ducks in Eugene. I'm going to ban you, Kenny. I got distracted. I'm sorry about that. What were we talking about? Oh, the schedule. So Notre Dame, I'm not worried about Notre Dame, which will be a tougher game. I'm not worried about Notre Dame. Oregon and Washington will be a tougher game, but I'm not.
Be in the Pac-12 championship game.
Yes. I think here's my prediction. I think, and Kenny, I hope you listen to this one. I really want. Let's put this back up here because he went to Eugene. This is my brother, you guys, so don't go too hard on him. USC will probably play Oregon State in the Pac-12 championship game. Yep. Oregon State has the toughest route. Ducks don't even have teeth.
That's a good one. That was a passive aggressive blow. I'll take that, bro.
Oh yeah, that is a Poly Funk House. There you go, Funk House. That is a Poly guy. There you go, Funk House. Yeah. Ducks don't even have teeth. That's funny. Funk House. I'll take that all day. Let's see. USC fans are crying about our defense. LSU gave up 55 yesterday, and Notre Dame struggled again. Okay, bro, let me tell you something. You're going to run into a B Hunter. Just hear me out. You're going to run into two teams that have the same mentality. That we have. We could score more than you. I don't know if we can make the stops. And you hear Ryan say this all the time. We need 4 stops. I don't know if we can make those stops. And then those games are going to come down to it, right? That's what my worry is. I understand that LSU gave up 55 yesterday. It was a big game, and that happens. Sometimes defense falters. But at the end of the day, we're not just talking about just average. And I want everybody, all 25 of you guys, to go tell your friends to start tuning in every Sunday so we could get more viewers and we could blow this thing up. It seems like you guys love this, but I will tell you guys this. The level we're talking about is not just winning the Pac-12 championship. We're talking past the Pac-12 championship. You're muted, Candice. We're talking about being an elite college, elite university that wins multiple college football championships.
Do we turn this around? What has to happen for this to be turned around? Let's get some action items because it sounds like they might need some of your solution. And good, Coach Al is available to come out there and volunteer coach. NCAA rules permit.
I'm not volunteering coaching. My time is worth a lot of money.
Hey, there we go.
I will tell you this: it's easy to turn around. Just put 6 in the box. Okay. Always have +1 in the box and make the secondary coverage simple. I think they're over analyzing the defense and they're doing way too much.
Let the defense keep it simple. Let Riley and Caleb run the score out.
You keep the defense simple, they play a lot faster. Bear, look, you only have the A gap. Unless we give you a blitz, you only have this, and this. You walk into the game and you give a defense 5 to 10 things to only worry about. Watch how much faster they play. You know what I mean? Let's see. My point there is no lock defense in college football. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? Oh, we got our beat writer, Justin. Justin, what's going on? This is our beat writer for USC. I've been trying to get you on our show for a long time, and you keep dodging me. Can you please hit me up in the DM on Slack so we can get you on our show? Justin is our beat writer. Yo, Alfred, what's up? And Alfred, Candice, what's up? We are going to have a convo about the missed assignment rather than scheme. Both are bad, but at some point, you got to do your job. All right, so you're right, but missed assignments are a thing that happens. Nobody plays 100% perfect football. And I will say this, Justin, I don't know how much are missed assignments and how much are scheme. That last touchdown was scheme. It seems like more scheme to me than missed assignments, Justin. That's I'm gonna put it like that. It seems like they're put in a bad situation more than able to do scheme. Let's see. For this to be turned around, USC needs a better philosopher on defense. I agree. Since when so defensive tackles were wristbands. So when I coach, I use wristbands. And the reason why I use wristbands is because the offensive coaches are picking your plays off. So the way when I use wristbands, we had 4 different wristbands for each quarter so they can't pick our plays off. Right. So the wristband philosophy is actually a really good philosophy for picking plays off and preventing plays from being picked off. So I don't have anything against the wristband. Defensive tackles, you're right. They don't need to wear the wristband because the linebacker could tell them the front. Or I will tell you this. One year when we did have the wristbands for the D-line, only thing that was on the D-line's wristband was the front. So they knew where to line up. Or if it was a blitz, it legit told them the slant that where they were blitzing from the string. So I'm not 100% against the wristbands, but yeah, how do you have wristbands and you don't? Here's a question you should ask, Brian. How do you have wristbands and you can't line up right and hurry up? Why does it take you so long to get the play in? That's the question you should ask. And Caleb, I trust in these games turn into a shootout. Give me Caleb all day, 100%. Our defense need is a timely stop. When you're up 41-14 in the third quarter, run the ball in the middle of the clock. Lamont, this is the only thing. That's how Colorado State lose. When you play to prevent a win, you're preventing to win. Remember that when you're playing to prevent a loss, you're preventing yourself to lose, right? So they did need to keep scoring points. So they did need to keep doing what they were doing. But the problem is that they got complacent. In my opinion, they got complacent. And then next thing you know, they were in a ball game, which happens multiple times, like we said in the Tulane game and things like that. This defense seems confused. They have on wristbands, so it seems they are confused 100%. And LV Live,
they didn't seem confused. They were confused.
They were confused. The reason why I think they're confused, LV Live, is because they have too much to worry about on defense. Defense doesn't need 1,000 things to worry about. Right, Candice, ask your husband right now. The less you ask him, the less you have to learn, the faster he plays. If you tell him, hey, how much better would you be if you had to learn 50 plays compared to 20 plays? And I guarantee you the answer to that question is going to shock you. The less you learn on defense, the better you'll be. Let's see. Guy, you're back. Notice, sir. Hey, Guy, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to come on one of the Victory Sundays. Let's work this out. A guy comes every Sunday. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to come on Victory Sunday, Guy. I'm gonna let you be a guest on Victory Sunday. I really appreciate Guy's support. He's here every single Sunday. He's the first one in this sector.
You might have to give him some swag. Give him some LAFB swag.
Guy. Let's find a way to hook up. Find me on Instagram or Twitter and DM me, and we'll give you a shirt. Thank you. Only thing, Guy, you need to tell your friends. I want you to tell about 13 of your friends so we can get this thing going. Notice our D-line angles on the tack in and other picks it up and goes the other way or on a dump off pass to a vacated area. Notice our D-line angles on attacking and other picks. It goes. That's scheme. I get what he's saying. Nobody's covering the flats in Alex Grinch's defense. So like Alex Grinch leaves a lot of vacated areas, and our defensive ends never play the D gap or C gap, pretty much the edge of the line of scrimmage. They're always slicing in. So there's never an edge on the defense. We have no edge. That's actually a good so
do we feel better about and I don't like saying feel better because this is sports. Do we feel better about your wins when we're running up the score and our defense is shutting them down?
Let's go. Let's ask the fans. Do you guys feel better? Here we go. And do you guys feel better when we win and blow them out and do good on defense? So good on defense is about 21 points for us. We're just talking SC. Or do you guys feel good about yesterday's win? Riley and the team have a mindset: a win is a win. Ignoring the warning signs is troubling because it's possible to win and not improve, and that's what I'm seeing. Yesterday in his press conference, he was not happy with Alex Grinch. They don't show SC's and you were in the press conference, right, Candice?
Sadly, I went to the Colorado press conference. I figured I could get Riley anytime I had to go.
No, you're good. You're good. Ryan went.
Yep.
So yesterday, Riley was not happy with Alex Grinch, and he said there's a lot of things we need to improve, and we need to get a lot better. He's not happy with the win. He was not happy with the San Jose State defensive performance. He's not happy with this. So he's using that for the media. He's saying a win is a win with the media, but he's not happy with it. He's letting them.
On that, I will respect that, and we'll touch on that because you said Pete Carroll protecting your team. It's not Riley's job to go in front of public and take his coaches down. So protecting them, what goes on in-house. But I'm hoping they're having those conversations for sure.
I also have another question for you guys. So I'm gonna look up the question we just asked. If this defense stays at the pace it is and Caleb stays at the pace it is, do you think he'll win a Heisman? They should run a 4-3 and keep it simple based defense. They do run 4-3. They run a 4-3. They just have two stand-ups in. They have two stand-up ends. They run a 4-2-5.
I agree. Again, I'm not an X's and O's, but I deal with athletes. Keep it simple. Bottom line, keep it simple.
This defense seems too complex. You're 100% right. Let's see. Lamont Hart, question. Do you agree with the linebacker rotation? I don't see it with Cobbs and Curtis. I thought we played better with Gentry and Davis, not to mention Gentry seems to be a little bit. The linebacker rotation is hard, Lamont. That is a very good question. That's a very good question because Gentry has an aspect, Cobb has an aspect. Tackett Curtis is going to be one of the best linebackers, probably up there with some of the best linebackers because he's only a true freshman. Davis is playing really good. If it was me, I would create a three series rotation. There'll be a new linebacker out there every 3 series. I don't know what the issue is because I'm not at practice. But Gentry and Davis does need to play more. Gentry may be more of a leader, Lamont, because of Cobb, because Gentry was there last year and Cobb is he's new to the team. So that might be the reason why. And Gentry felt that hurt last year. So he probably doesn't want to feel it again. No, I want the defense to have adversity so they can get battle tested when the ish hits the fan. Oh, okay. I can agree with that. I agree. Battle tested is this. B Hunter, this is the only thing I say about battle tested. Battle tested is this: if it's a shootout game from the first quarter, when you're up 41, 30 something, 14, and then they have to come back, that's not battle tested. That's the only thing.
Yes, but for the athlete perspective, I like that though. I want that defensive that secondary to go out there and have confidence in what's going on, and doesn't seem that they have confidence.
I think every USC fan will welcome a 27-3 win over a 38-31 win right now. No, I agree. I 100%. I can't even argue with that.
It did not. I mean, it did not feel. And we live and we got comments. It did not feel like a USC win yesterday. It did not feel like a USC win yesterday.
It feel like they were scrambling at the end, like oh shoot! All of a sudden they woke up, it was like, oh, we don't have this game anymore, and that's when I think it's a Lincoln Riley issue.
It felt
I thought Grinch runs a 3-3-5 scheme. I don't think he runs a 4-3. He does run a 4-3. If you notice, like he has Jamil Muhammad, which is number 10, and then he has another stand-up in, and then Bear Alexander's in a 1, and then number 47 is in the 3 tech. So it's a 4. He last year was 3-3-5, but now he has 4 down linemen, and the 2 ends are stand-up ends. He does bounce into the 3-3-5 every now and then, but for the most part, he's based out of 4-3. If I'm wrong, if you see something else, just let me know. But from what I've seen, it looks like a 4-3. I think Cobb played really well. He was feeling he did. He came to light. I do agree with you on that. Cobb played very well. And let me tell you this. Austin Jones, I'm the biggest Austin Jones fans. I'm the biggest Muhammad fan, and I'm the biggest Mason Cobb fan. Anybody on the USC Salute to Troy podcast could tell you those are my guys, and I am pushing for them every single time. I fanboy on them all the time.
Does Mason Cobb play better with the adjustments of the defense you're talking about?
Oh yeah, if he only has the A gap to fill, what? Hey, you just play football and flow. You see gap, go hit gap. Yesterday they gassed out, and Riley should have used the run game to assist the defense. I agree with that. I think Riley needs to establish the run game a lot more because he has a very good running back in Marshawn Lloyd, and he's not giving them enough touches. Grinch funds blitz on 4th and 22 and gets burned. Stupid. Yeah, that is stupid if he did that. Let's see. What do you want, Justin? All 4 LBs are incredible. Anthony Heller, 8 missed tackles from that unit can't happen. Cobb, Curtis are downhill, but struggle and pass. Right. So and perfect. I love this comment, Justin. So the question about the linebacker rotation, use them situationally, right? So if I'm in 3rd and 5, or it's an in-between, they can either run or pass, or 2nd and 5, or 2nd or 5 one's running fast. I'm using Cobb and Curtis 100%. If I'm in 3rd and long, I'm using Gentry and Davis. That's the rotation that you need to use them. That's what I would do, in my opinion. But I'm just a podcaster. You guys don't have to listen to me. Davis didn't look good yesterday. He created a clear lane for Shedeur to run through for a TD. You don't know the scheme, David. So you don't know what he's taught. Because to me, it looked like they were all bailing out and dropping 8. And it looked like they were trying to spy with the defensive lineman. And I hate quarterback spy. If you're in the zone, if you play zone right, you automatically have a spy. If you choose a guy to be a spy, come on. Let's see. I love the questions, guy. I appreciate you. We've been here for 51 minutes. Candice, if you eventually have to go, you could go, but I'll stay here and we'll stay here all day and we'll keep doing this. Can we have an honest conversation about Tackett Curtis? I think he's not ready, and Rajon seems miles ahead of Tackett Curtis. Yes and no. I think the game speed is a little bit ahead of Curtis. You're right. But I think playing wise, Tackett Curtis is pretty good. And then this is one thing you also have to understand. Tackett Curtis is only 18 years old. Like, he's a freshman. Like, he's only 18 years old. He's starting as a true freshman. But if they get a better rotation, I think it helps them both out because they have fresh legs, and I think they both need to play. But if it was me, I will start Tackett Curtis all day, every day, 100% of the time. Let's see. I think Lincoln Riley prefers the feast or famine style because he doesn't want the long clock during the drive. He wants his offense to get more snaps. That's why. If you have Georgia's defense, yes, you can score at will. You don't have Georgia's defense. At one point, I don't remember if you remember, I sent you this text during the game when they should have went for it on like 4th and 3 or something like that on their 45. I was like, God, he just willingly puts his defense out on the field. If you're at that point, you can't. If you willingly put the defense out on the field, you can't really do that. Like I would not willingly put. At one point, I was like, dang, he always receives first, but I get it. Like, it is a hit or miss with this defense. Do you want the ball first, or do you want to put them on defense first? Oh, well, they have to go on defense first in the second half. Like, you do not want that defense on the field. When you think that about a defense, that's the issue. Like, so you can't have a feast or famine because you don't know how much are they going to let the other team feast on them, right? Our buffet might just be the Sizzler. Their buffet might be Golden Corral. So that's the issue with it. So, yeah. Let's see. What do you got, Lightbulb? Cobb from the Blue Mormon area. Ha. He's a baller, though. He is a baller. That's my cousin. He lives in Utah. He is from Utah. I noticed Davis at LB overrun plays a lot when he was in. I'm guessing picky. The problem is, all right, let's talk football, guy. The problem is I should not say there's no gap assignment. From what I see, when you walk your backers out of the box, and you start slanting defensive linemen, you leave a lot of gaps, right? So what is David's gap assignment, right? So if he sees 2 open gaps, just picture, you see 2 open gaps, right? You don't know where the running back is going. Compare if I tell you, you have this gap, this is your gap, 100%, you only have this gap, right? When you have that, it's much easier to where, oh, there's an open gap. I'm going to go to the flow, right? But there's nobody behind him. And next thing you know, he's cutting back. He's like, oh, shit, there's another gap behind me that I need to get. So that's why I think there's a little issue there. I think APB should be put out for Lee. Where is he? Oh, man. Y'all gonna get mad at me. I'm not a Shane Lee fan. All right, Candice, say bye. Candice is gonna go.
Bye. I'll see you all tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. We can keep going, guys. Candice is out of here. Should see y'all tomorrow. We'll keep going. We'll keep going for a little bit. I'm not a Shane Lee fan. I don't think Shane Lee fits in Alex Grinch's defense. Athletically, I think he's very good, 100%. But I don't think Shane Lee fits in Alex Grinch's defense. So that's why I think he's having a little bit of issues. Fortunately, it's our defense continue. If our defense continues strong, Caleb will only help his Heisman run just from the game script trying to gap the score. Yeah, that's true. I agree with you guys there. Bars and Bear hardly are on the field together. Does speed D allow you to have? No, they need to be on the field together. If you got Bear Alexander's fast. If you see Bear Alexander in person, he doesn't even look like he's 300 pounds. He's a good-looking human being. Like he was made in a factory. So the more force and speed you got on the big and fast wins every single time. So yeah, 100%. To be honest, we were at 41-14 in the third. So to me, it's not the players. The scheme gives up big plays. Yep. You're 100% of live. Go look at my Stanford podcast, you guys. Go watch the Stanford podcast. And I remember there was somebody in there who got mad at me because I was being too hard on the defense, and I had to clear it up. It's not the players. It's the scheme. So go watch my Stanford podcast, the after we play Stanford, and listen to everything I say. Like Stanford was exposing XC in that game about the scheme of the defense. Don't let the score fool you. They were getting exposed. Big plays puts too much pressure on the players, 100%. Let's see. Can you explain to me what happened to Corey Foreman? Wasn't he a 5-star athlete? That'll be a Ryan question. So I just want to let you guys know. I just watch the games and I look at a few stats and I just analyze the game. The deep stat guys are Ryan and Jamal. I'll ask Ryan what happened to Corey Foreman. Most likely sometimes if it was me, I think they just plateaued. And he's just not getting it done at practice with reps and things like that. And that's the decision that they went to. But thank God for the transfer portal. Hopefully he could go somewhere and get good. Shane Lee is great at stopping big RBs. Played well against. Yeah, he might get a lot of rep at Notre Dame. You're right. Let's see. Foreman never developed. Yep, there you go. See, there you go. Oklahoma fans are always saying Grinch won't put 300-pounders on the line. Well, we got Bear Alexander now, but he needs to. Let's see. All right, Fred, I'll DM you as well. We'll get set something up. All right, Justin. Justin is our beat writer, guys. So if you go to LAFB network.com, he writes all of our stories for USC football at LV. Yes, it is the scheme. Yeah, it is the scheme, you guys. So my opinion, I'll just give you guys my opinion of yesterday's game, and I won't keep you guys too long. If you got more questions, we'll answer a couple more questions because I know it's about to be kickoff here on the West Coast for the NFL Sunday. But I will tell you guys this. It's not the offense, and the only time the offense, I think Lincoln Riley overthinks, right? But we have the greatest. We saw the separation between Shedeur Sanders and Caleb Williams, and it's a big separation, right? It is 100% the defensive scheme. And we got to fix the defensive scheme. Like, at the end of the day, this is a pass sport now. Passing is a big thing. When I grew up, it was all running. You got to run the ball, set up the play action pass. It's not like that anymore. It's pass first. The I formation now is 10 personnel, 2x2, a running back and 2 receivers on each side. That's the first formation you see. Or you see 3x1. And they get caught up in the past, but then they don't have enough numbers in the box. So that's just my opinion, but we do need to fix it. Run defense that you could contain, keeps everything in front of you. Being overly aggressive never works in any scheme. Don't tell the 2000 Ravens that, because they were aggressive as hell. But I the only problem I have with keeping everything in front of you is that's a little bit too conservative, and you seem to sometimes forget over the top, and that's when a big play happens. So that's why that happens. Let's see. Lamont Hart question: what do you see is going wrong with the DBs? People play Dante, but Grinch is in charge. To be honest, I just think it's a rotation. When have you seen a consistent starting group out there with the DBs? It's always a different. There's always a different group of DBs out there. Oh, I know why 14 was in, guys. Because number one got hurt. That's why. Number one got hurt, and then all of a sudden they had to put 14 in. So, and that is the issue right now with SC. People forget. You guys got to remember this. People forget that SC is still rebuilding, and they are way ahead of schedule. Right? Last year, I only had them picked to win about 9 games or something like that. Now, I mean, they're ahead of schedule. So they don't have the depth, right? They put 14 in, and then the 14 from Colorado just murdered them, right? So those are the things we have to worry about. Any last questions before we get out of here? I don't want you guys to miss kickoff. I know kickoff normally starts about 10:05 my time, 10:15. You guys got anything else? Gotta go. Thanks for the show over. Yep. Any last questions, you guys? You guys got anything else? Well, I appreciate you guys. We'll do this every Sunday now. You guys tune in. Our podcast is we record on Mondays and Thursdays, but we put them out Tuesday and Friday. Tell your friends. I appreciate you guys. This was fun. Another Victory Sunday. Oh, wait. Hold on. We got one more. You can't keep missing on local elite corners. They missed out on 3 recently. Yeah, that's all right. I will tell you this, Star, Brian. Stars don't mean anything. I've seen a lot of 5 stars plateau. Arthur Sanders, everyone sticks to their assignment and play their gaps. We wouldn't have those big holes. Right, but there is no gap assignment. That's the issue. You guys are going to keep me here. But Riley wants the defense to be feast or famine to get more snaps on his offense. Right, well, we can't give the other team feast. We'll talk about this next. That's why Oklahoma and Riley fans. Logan, stop. We're finishing up. We're done for the day. We're done for the day. I thank you guys for joining. I thank you guys for all your questions, you guys. I thank you guys for all your support. Tell your friends about this every Sunday. We'll be here 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys go watch some NFL football. This is the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, tell your friends. Like, subscribe, comment, go back and watch all of our shows. I've addressed this a lot. So if you have some time, watch all your shows. I appreciate you guys. We're recording Monday. Hopefully it gets out Tuesday. We'll have the full cast to talk about this. Thanks for this. You're welcome, Logan. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next Sunday for Victory Sunday. SC pulls out a close one, 48-41. Moving on 5-0. We got Arizona for family weekend at USC at the Coliseum next weekend. Hopefully we do better. Thank you guys once again for joining. Once again, live free, fight on. We'll see you guys.